2017 election was probably one of the most polarizing elections in the history of this country. Passion flared. There was serious division and polarization that cut virtually almost every sector of the society. Now, regrettably, since 1992, there has never been closure or finality to the electoral process. Issues that were raised in 1992 elections were simultaneously raised in 97, 2002, 2007, 2013, and 2017 elections. Now, in the study of the electoral discourse, a phenomenon is emerging in the continent called the inconclusive electoral cycle, defined as an electoral cycle or an election that identifies serious shortcomings, challenges, and weaknesses, but at the same are swept under the carpet, and the country begins to talk about the next election. Typically, the countries that are notorious with this is Kenya, number one, Zimbabwe, Chad, Gabon, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. From those countries, I'm sure you must not be happy that Kenya compares with those countries. Comparatively across the continent, electoral democracy, not just as a result of inconclusive electoral process, is actually on retrogression. The irony is that despite almost 27 years that this continent reverted into multi-party democracy, the continent still talks about the credible elections, electoral reforms, and issues of electoral management. Now, as a further evidence of this retrogression is a phenomenon that is now happening in the continent. One is what we are seeing as the likelihood of incumbent presidents who lost election refusing to concede defeat, as happened in Ivory Coast in 2010 and Gambia in 2016. Now, if you look at the issues that makes the electoral process divisive, complicated, and if you look at the issues that are featured prominently in the Kenyan electoral cycle since 1992 and continue to feature in every election and potentially, if nothing is done, will impact on future elections are the following. Number one is the whole question of election management and administration. In other words, the IEBC as we know it now, or the EMBs as we know. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenya has had 6 multi-party elections since the restoration of multi-party democracy in 1991. 6. Within which time, Kenya, the structure, the composition, and the tenure of the Electoral Commission has changed 6 times. We had the Chesoni Commission in 92, the Kivitu Commission in 97, the IPPG Commission in 2002, the Interim Independent Electoral Commission, IIC, Ahmedizak IEBC, the 5th, and now Chebukati IEBC. And right now, as I speak, with the 7th multi-party election that is expected, the discussion and the debate of disbanding or reforming electoral management body exist. The second issue that we must deal with is the question of election integrity. There are a number of things that are tied to this. Number one is, why is it comparably, compared to other countries, that the Kenyan election is extremely expensive? If you look, the integrity issues that surround election commission since 2013 has actually been the question of procurement. In 2017, the issues that were raised in 2013, the chicken gate, the procurement of essential materials, including BVR, EVIDs, etc., were never resolved. In 2017, these issues actually reemerged, and based on the internal audit commissioned by the IEBC chair, Bwana Chebukati, it is estimated that the country lost in excess of 4.2 billion. Now, soon after, the Auditor General report released an even mind-boggling figure that the IEBC actually lost 9.3 billion. There are fundamental issues of integrity that characterize our electoral process, and it falls in the hands squarely in the hands of the IEBC. Now, the danger in this country is this. Issues of electoral integrity have direct bearing on the electoral outcome. It's a quid pro quo. You allow the IEBC to engage in electoral malpractice so that they can turn around or turn their back as electoral malpractices are being committed. Now, the most difficult thing, or the elephant in the room in Kenya with respect to elections, is the results management system. This has been an issue since 1992 and will continue to be an issue in future elections. Its worst time was during 2007 elections, 2013 and 2017 elections. Gender representation is a recurring debate since 1992. Kenya has never attained 30% threshold despite clear and direct constitutional provisions. There was a Supreme Court advisory on this, but the 2013 and 2017 Parliament do not meet the strict criteria imposed in the Constitution. The question is, do we want to amend Article 97 and 98 to provide for proportional representation to compensate for women in the National Assembly and the Senate? In conclusion, let me say this. The dialogue and mediation process and this process by the religious organization and other stakeholders, including civil society, represent probably the perfect opportunity for us to deal with these issues.